Hey, I'm Danny.
I'm Ryan.
And we're from the band Arkansas Dogjaw. And if you don't mind, hit that like button below and subscribe to the channel. That helps us a lot. So since we saw you last time a couple of weeks ago, we released our video for Drowning on the Banks of the Mississippi, which was filmed down at the Las Vegas Wash. I'm really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, I am.
And Corey Fout did a great job on the camera work there too. Let us know what you think of the sound and of the setting down in the comments below.
It's always good to think you look good in the mirror, but we would really rather hear what you think. You know, we did all new recordings for that video.
Audio.
For the audio.
Recordings.
And the video is a new recording too, but all the audio is new. But another thing that we added that wasn't in the original recording was we made a synth cello sound. It's not a cello, but we made it with the Steinberg Retrolog synthesizer, and that synthesizer is great. You know, you can just kind of sculpt your own sound however you want it. We put that in there and we felt that it gave us a lot more fullness to the sound in the low end. We really liked it, but you can hear it up here, and if you would, just let us know what you think. I just came back from Venus and there's no vacancy.
Ah, shoot.
Yeah, so in the last few weeks we've been pretty busy recording. We've recorded Float On. We've got it mostly done. We're much harder working than our friends are.
For sure.
Yeah, we've got all our stuff done, and so
Miles.
we're waiting on friends to record their parts. But today, actually, our friend Ethan is going to record his parts for the song, for the chorus at the end.
All right. We've been trying to get like one song done every week, at least for these few weeks, to get a little bit ahead on the audio recording. So it's been really fun recording sober, vocals too, but guitar and bass especially, because Tool has, you know, even back then in the early 90s when they recorded that album, they've always had some of the best guitar and bass sounds, I think. So it's been fun using this software that we've been using for everything actually, called Bias FX and Bias Amp by Positive Grid. We've been using that to try and get those sounds.
Yeah, I mean for the guitars, I'm using Bias effects. You can, you know, morph, you know, kind of whatever you want, but they use existing amps and they have tons of pedals. So sometimes it's fun to just play around and see what kind of sounds you can get. But they also model real amps, and so for sober, they have amps that model Mesa Boogies, and they had a diesel one as well. So to try to get a sound like Adam Jones was using on sober, I mixed three of them together and had one pan to the left, one to the center, one to the right, and then, you know, tweaked the amp settings in there. I'm pretty happy with it, but we're really happy with this program. And another great thing about it is that you play a part really well, but you're not happy with the way that the guitar sounds or the bass sounds. You can go back in later and tweak the sound, but you already have your dry signals perfectly played. So that saves a lot of time and heartache.
So basically like reamping, but way easier.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple of clicks of a button. You don't have to actually send it out to another amp and re-record it and all that. We're really spoiled these days with technology, especially for music recording. So I was using it to try and get a bass tone, kind of a cross between the original bass tone, that like dirty, gritty sound that Tool's original bass player Paul D'Amour had. Kind of a cross between that and Justin Chancellor, the current bass player's tone. Honestly, I love Justin Chancellor's tone. It's real clean and defined on the high end, which is kind of what I try and go for a lot anyway. This is not done yet, but I'm going to show you a little clip here with my Bias amp that I created based on the Gallien-Kruger, because that's what Justin Chancellor is using these days. So I'll show you that with a little clip of the sound that I'm getting so far. So getting off topic a little bit here, I want to talk a little bit about strings, because I really like a nice, like I was talking about, a nice defined high-end, high-frequency range on my bass tone. So I've been tending to use coated strings so I can maintain that for longer without having to change my strings like every month or maybe every 2 months. So in the past I've been heavily relying on Elixir strings. I really like them. They're really bright and nice, and I could pretty easily get like 6 to 12 months out of a set of strings, and they still sound pretty dang good, like pretty close to new. But since the pandemic started last year, I've noticed that the supply quickly went down on the places that I usually order or buy from, like Guitar Center, Musician's Friend, Sweetwater, for the Elixir strings. So I had to find a new brand to go with, a new type of strings. I did some research and I thought that these dragon skin strings would do it. And they sounded pretty good, like out of the package when I put them on.
Because, you know, some of the dragon skin sloughed off.
I put them on there about 2 months ago, and already, like, they're sounding pretty dead. Like, I want to change them, but they cost like twice as much as another like uncoated string that I might use. So I think until Elixir gets back into gear and starts producing strings again, I might just start using uncoated strings.
Or until they can procure some actual dragon skin.
Right. So to show you what I'm talking about, this is the bass that I've been using, and I'm just gonna strum these top two strings on here, the G and the D strings, so you could hear what they sound like. 2-month-old strings. All right. So those are the DR Dragon skins that I put on there. And just to give you something to compare to, obviously it's a different bass. It's got 6 strings, but I'll mute that top C string so you can just hear the D and the G strings. And these are Elixir strings that have been on here for about 1.5 years. I know, gross, right? But listen. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So I want my Elixirs back.
So next week we're going to be filming at least one of our cover songs, and then for the next 2 or 3 weeks we're going to try to do a lot of filming. So within 2 to 3 weeks you should see our next video being released. Definitely let us know what you think and keep posted, and we'll keep you posted, and we'll see you next time.
Lay around all day. You look for the show around.